Today, live from Santa Anita Park in Arcadia, California, it's the 42nd running of the Charles H. Strub Stakes. This ESPN sports presentation is brought to you by Budweiser, Beechwood Age for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. By the Thoroughbred Racing Association, assuring the highest racing standards. Santa Anita is a TRA member track. And by Caesars Palace, Las Vegas. Relive the legend. And for the first time in 1989, hello again, everyone. I'm Chris Lincoln as we welcome you to Budweiser Racing Across America in our fourth season here on ESPN of this, we're proud to say, Eclipse Award-winning series. Working with me, our expert on thoroughbred racing today, Dave Johnson. It seems like a very appropriate place to start our race across America, some of the top stakes races here on one of America's great racetracks, Santa Anita. And here today at the climax of exclusive four-year-old series, the Strub Stakes. It started in December, the 7-furlong Malibu, then in mid-January to the San Fernando at 1 1/8, and now today 1 1/4. And this four-year-old triple has purses of more than $800,000. Something else unique about it, it's the final time the four-year-olds will run together. They go to the open handicap division. Let's give you a look at the conditions of racing today for the Strub. The 42nd running, grade 1, $500,000 on the line. The four-year-olds go the classic American racing distance of 1 1/4. After a day of rain yesterday here in Southern California, we had a sloppy racetrack to start the day. It is now listed as muddy. The racetrack condition, a big part of our story. Our 2-1 morning line favorite, Cherokee Colony, has been scratched from the race. Let's take a look now at some of the great past history of this event as we call in our colleague, one of America's great racetrack announcers and a former voice here at Santa Anita, Dave Johnson.
Well, Chris, when you take a look at the previous Strub winners, including such horses as Affirmed and Precisionist, Snow Chief and Ali Sheba, you realize that this is a classic event. Then you see who raced but didn't win. Horses like Damascus and Ferdinand and Gate Dancer and Broadbrush. Then you know this is a true showcase of the thoroughbred racehorse. Horses who have come to this series in many cases are star attractions with reputations made as 3-year-olds. But in the case of Spectacular Bid, the Kentucky Derby and Preakness winner of 1979, his best effort came right here, not in the Triple Crown, but in the Strub at the foothill of the San Gabriel Mountains. It was a sensational race, even though only 4 horses started. Relaunch scooted away to a 10-length lead. Quick Fractions, 22, 44, and 3. 108 and 2 for 6 furlongs. It was Spectacular Bid kicking in through the stretch. Flying Phaester and Valdez making their runs. But it was Spectacular Bid like a bullet. Almost 4 lengths the best, stopping the teletimer in 1:57 and 4. The American dirt record for 1 1/4, and that will not be broken this afternoon. But we are in for a very competitive 1 1/4, Chris, in Chapter 42 of this great race at Santa Anita, the great race place. And one footnote, recent history of this race. The last 2 years, the horse of the year have come out of this race. In '87, it was Ferdinand, who was second to Snow Chief, and last year, Ali Sheba took the Strub.
I'm sure you can hear the bugler in the background. He has called the horses out to the racetrack. Soon you'll hear the post parade for the Strub Stakes. Let's take a look at our morning line as you hear the call to the post. We have scratched the one horse at scratch time. That was No Can Lose. Silver Circus at 8-1 in the revised line. Undercut the Long at 15-1. Speed Radic at 5-1. Dynaformer 9-2. Perceive Arrogance 7-2. Nasser El Arif becomes the favorite at 5-2. Me Preferito 3-1. And Cherokee Colony, the 2-1 morning line favorite, has been scratched. And you heard the call to the post, the crowd responding to it. Big crowd turning out today here at Santa Anita. Oh, we told you we scratched the one horse, No Can Lose. We'll start with this gray gelding, Silver Circus.
Here's a $32,000 claim that earned about $400,000. Julio Canani, a big tribute to that trainer. This horse came from 13th to win the Hollywood Derby on the turf by a head. He's been out of action since Christmas Eve. That's going to be tough. The question mark on the surface will be looking for the late run.
Eddie Delahousie is in the irons. Rider, of course, of Prison Star, winner of the Preakness at Belmont last year. He won the '84 Strub with Desert Wine. The number 3 horse. And you'll note for the first time the Keeneland K. That means he's a Keeneland sale horse. $375,000 for the long shot. Undercut.
And here's a horse who raced in England and Scotland as a 2- and 3-year-old, but he has not found fortune here in the USA at 4. He's only run once on the dirt in 12 starts, badly beaten 7th at 40-1 in the San Fernando. He's not won since July of '87.
Corey Black has the mount as we go to Speed Radic, $23,000 Keeneland horse.
Very consistent, close to the pace runner who has proven he can handle this type of racetrack and has had good efforts in major stakes events. Third, beaten a length in the Malibu. Second, beaten ahead in the San Fernando.
He's got the best in the West on him, Gary Stevens. He was the leading rider at Santa Anita, Hollywood, and Del Mar in '88. You remember him from being on the filly, winning colors in the Derby. The number 5 horse, this is from the D. Wayne Lucas stable, Dynaformer.
Had traffic problems in his West Coast debut last out in the San Fernando. This graded stakes winner from the East was a 4-time winner last year and has a few good efforts on off tracks.
And how about this? Angel Cadero comes all the way east, and look how he's treated here. Mud all over him here as he'll be the rider. The Hall of Famer will be on Dynaformer today. Another Keeneland sale horse. This is the number 6 horse, Perceive Arrogance. A $30,000 Keeneland bargain has earned over $200,000.
On the board in the first 2 legs of the series, second in the Malibu, third behind Me Preferito and Speedratic in the San Fernando 3 weeks ago. The big question is the off track. He has never run on anything other than fast. Excellent workout 3 days ago, and he gets a jockey back he likes.
He does indeed. One of the best. Lafitte Pinkai Jr., 4-time winner of the Strub, has won over 7,000 races. This sport's all-time winningest rider in money earned.
And the last jockey to win on him, Perceived Arrogance. Now we have Nasser El-Arab.
And he is, you notice, no pony, kind of the European style. He has a groom walking him to the track.
Class act. He's beaten older stars in 2 of his 3 U.S. outings, a graded stakes winner in France, another of the many European stars who just happened to find their way to the Charlie Whittingham barn. Away since December the 24th. Before that, he won the Carlton Burke and the Oak Tree Invitation.
A new rider for Near. Remember, he was also a $20,000 supplement, Nasser El-Arab. Patrick Valenzuela has won the Strub twice. 87 with Snow Chief and 83 Swing Till Dawn. Rounding out our field, number 8. This is the brown colt from the Las Barreras barn, Me Preferito.
The speedball in this race, wire-to-wire winner of the San Fernando last out, beaten only a length in the Malibu, lots of trouble before that. But on the negative side, Chris, he has not done well in the mud. He was up the track in the affirmed handicap behind Speedratic in November. Here's an omen, though. Me Preferito has been the favorite 7 times, and all 7 times he got beat.
Well, he's on a winner today, on his back. Chris McCarron, certainly a winner, as he won the Strub last year with Ali Sheba, 1 in 85 on Precisions. Precisions the last one to sweep the Strub Series. And, of course, scratch the 9 horse, the early morning line favorite, Cherokee Colony. That's our field of 7 going postwards to the Strub Stakes. When we come back, more about what happened to our favorite, Cherokee Colony. Update you on the odds. The 1 horse Scratch Silver Circus 7-1, undercut now to 25. Speedratic down to 3-1. Dynaformer at 5-1. Moving on the odds board here with our field. Perceive Arrogance 7-2. Nasser El-Arab is now the 2-1 favorite. Me Preferito at 6-1, and Scratch Cherokee Colony. The man who made that decision, the young trainer Chris Beckert. What was involved in that decision to scratch the favorite?
Well, Mr. Evans and I decided that it really wasn't worth taking the risk on this track. It's a little bit off, and the horse is a good horse. He's had a slight problem in the past, so we don't aggravate anything. I can come back and run in the San Antonio in 7 days' time next Sunday. I don't think the track will be any worse. It might not be better, but it won't be any worse. And it's a 1.8 miles, too, and that'll probably help him. It's 3 weeks, so it doesn't make much difference.
Chris, thank you much. Sorry we didn't have you part of the show today.
Thank you very much indeed. Thank you. Bye-bye.
As you take a look at the horses warming up on the back, Dave Johnson joining us now. And, Dave, as you see, Me Preferito warming up, Chris McCarron in the irons there. We will go back a bit to the second leg of this Strub Series, January the 15th. It was the San Fernando Stakes at 1 1/8 miles.
And it was a fast track, and Me Preferito, carrying almost top weight of 123 pounds, got the lead early and then held off the late charge of Speedratic on the outside with Gary Stevens. But Me Preferito with McCarron at 4-1 on the rail holds on. Speedratic second, and back behind those 2, Perceive Arrogance finishing third.
On his connections, Lance Breyer, the trainer, and Chris McCarron, the jockey. We had a chance to talk to them earlier in the week. We asked him about this son of Island World and about his tendency to like to get out front. Speed is very important for Me Preferito.
Oh, yeah, he loved to be in the lead, and his father was the same way. And when he's in the lead, it's getting very tough. And mile and a quarter is easy to go to the lead because not too many people want to kill himself chasing you. But I don't know if my horse could make 1.25 miles, but I'm going to try my heart on that he go that far.
The greatest thing about him is his gameness, though. He's really competitive. When a horse moves alongside of him, he just keeps digging, and which is why he's difficult to pull up after a race. So I don't think the extra furlong is going to hurt him any.
When the handicappers came out here today and saw the racetrack conditions now muddy, they had to go to the form and were looking for mud marks to start, and the only one that has it in this race is Speedratic.
And Speedratic got that mud mark over at Hollywood Park in November in the affirmed. And in that race, he jumped to the lead, held it, and held off Me Preferito, who was 4-5 and finished 5th. So if you're looking for a horse for this kind of a racing surface, it has to be Speedratic.
Now, how do you figure Nasser El-Arab? Nasser El-Arab is going for the first time ever in his career off the grass. As you take a look at him, He has been a turf specialist, has never run on the dirt, and what does he face now but mud, Dave?
But a good horse should be able to race on anything. Nasser El Arab won the Oak Tree Invitational and beating Great Communicator, who came back and won the Breeders' Cup Turf. So this is a good horse. Can he run on the dirt or can he run on the mud? We'll see.
When we come back, we'll have our first Bud Long Shot of 1989 on Budweiser Racing Across America.
Our first Budweiser long shot for 89 is Dynaformer, the richest horse in today's field, and one of only 2 contestants who have won at 1.25 miles. That happened in the Grade 2 Jersey Derby, as Dynaformer enhanced his stretch running reputation by getting the lead from talented stablemate Czar Baby in deep stretch. After spending his sophomore year in trainer D. Wayne Lucas's Eastern operation, Dynaformer gained some local experience in the San Fernando Stakes. Lucas feels this son of Roberto will benefit from that race over the track, and jockey Angel Cordero Jr. must like his chances. He's flown all the way from New York for the mount. With these very strong connections, and with the anticipation of a dynamic price, we've formed our opinion for Dynaformer as today's Budweiser long shot.
The 5-horse Dynaformer opened, as you see, at the top 9-2, is now 4-1, and there is Dynaformer. And who do you like up here, Dave?
Well, first of all, let me tell you, I'm sorry to see Cherokee Colony scratch because I wanted to bet against him. I like Speedratic and would have played him even if Cherokee Colony was in the race. I think the horse gets a break in the weights. Gary Stevens aboard. He must love this racetrack. And the only horse I fear is Nasser El Arab. If Charlie Whittingham suggested putting up $10,000 or $20,000 supplement, a good horse can race on anything. I think that's the exacta 4-7.
I like that, too, and I like Nasser El Arab, the 7 horse. Let's go to the top of the stands now. The voice of San Diego Park. The man who says he hasn't seen a racetrack this slow in a long time, Trevor Denman.
Thank you, Chris. Last horse loading in the gate now as Me Preferido goes in. The flag is up. Field standing quietly, waiting to break. Field sent on their way in the Halfman and Dollar Strub Stakes. They all came away very perfectly. Undercut on the inside, going to the lead. Now here comes Me Preferido on the grandstand side to join him. Speedratic settles down in 3rd. Perceive Arrogance keeping on the outside is racing 4th. Nasser Al Arab in behind him gives the leaders 12-length start. Silver Circus is second last, and Dynaformer the trailer. Under the wire with 1 lap to go, and Me Preferido going a good pace for this kind of track is out there leading it by a length for the long shot Undercut. Speedratic in a good place right there in 3rd. 3 lengths back to Perceive Arrogance. He's 6 off that leader. Another 4 back to Nasser Al Arab. Down at the rail, Silver Circus and Dynaformer trail. They've got 3/4 mile left to go. Chris McCarron dictating the pace out there on Me Preferido. 1.5 lengths leader to Undercut. Speedratic is right there in 3rd. Lafitte Pink Eye now asking Perceive Arrogance to pick it up in 4th, and Perceive Arrogance is closing in. He's only 3 off the leader and going well. Perceive Arrogance makes his move on the outside. 4 back now to Nasser Al Arab. Dynaformer has 9 lengths to make up, and Silver Circus trails. 1/2 mile left to go in the Strub Stakes. Me Preferido by 3/4 length to Speedratic. On the outside of that, we have Perceive Arrogance now taking 3rd. Undercut is right there in 4th. Nasser Al Arab coming after them. 5th is only 4 lengths off the lead. They come now to the quarter pole, and there goes Perceive Arrogance on the outside now to go for the lead. Nasser Al Arab making a big run wide out, and now it comes down to these 2. Perceive Arrogance and Nasser Al Arab. Speedratic 3rd. 1/8 mile to go, and Pat Valenzuela and Nasser Al Arab get the lead in the Strub, and it's Nasser Al Arab taking to this muddy track like a duck to water. He's loving it out there. Nasser Al Arab romping home under Pat Valenzuela to take the Strub Stakes by an easy 4 lengths. There's the victory salute from Pat Valenzuela. Perceive Arrogance a big one in 2nd. A huge gap back then to Speedratic, Dynaformer and Silver Circus, who are involved in a 3-way photo for 3rd. Undercut showed speed but got tired. And little Me Preferido, I think he's just not the kind of horse to be suited to this type of racetrack. He's the smallest in the field, and this is a very, very hard racetrack to run on. He showed speed, but threw in the towel at the quarter pole, and Me Preferido finished last, but he's obviously a whole lot better horse than that. The time is a surprisingly good one for this track after that huge effort from Nasser Al Arab from the Charlie Whittingham barn. The winning time, a decent 2:02 1/5.
Oh, Nasser Al Arab just went down on the backside, pitching Patrick Valenzuela. He looks like he's going to be okay. Boy, he just looked like he took a misstep, went down, pitched Patrick. They're both up. It looked like they'll be okay. But our winner, unceremoniously, goes to his knees and dumps his rider. We'll come back with more of our story of the Strub Stakes when we return to Santa Anita Park right after this. He had to remount after Nasser Al Arab went to his knees after being pulled up on the backside. Looked like he just slipped and round in the mud. D. Wayne Lucas stopped by and said, well, they've been doing that all day, losing their footing there. We're going to take a look now at this big performance by Nasser Al Arab. Let's go to Dave Johnson for an ISO look at the race.
It's fifth at this point, but let's take a look. In front is the number 8 horse, Then it was Undercut finishing, or who was fourth at this point, and the eventual winner on the outside. Now that on the outside fourth at this point is the 7-horse Nasser Al Arab, and Undercut is now fifth. Let's watch it now as the 7-horse Nasser Al Arab makes this big move on the outside. He won the Oak Tree Invitational coming from off the pace just like this. He shows that he can race on the dirt track, on an off track, and with Pat Valenzuela urging him on, and number 6, Perceive Arrogance, holding on doggedly, it's still Nasser Al Arab, a $20,000 supplement to this race, setting himself right up for the big cap a month from today.
Nasser Al Arab coming to the winner's circle, the son of the French sire Al Nasser. On a choral dance by Green Dancer, a Kentucky bred, in the winner's circle. Nasser Al Arab has won the 42nd running of the Charles H. Strub Stakes, the $500,000 first, $275,000 for first place. But in 1 month from this time, the purse doubles to $1 million. The Santa Anita Handicap. To get more about that race and to hear about this outstanding track facility of Santa Anita, here's Bob Strub with our TRA message.
We're pleased that Racing Across America is showcasing the Strub Stakes from Santa Anita Park, one of the founding tracks of the TRA. Today's stake is named for my father, Dr. Charles H. Strub, a founder of Santa Anita. One of his lasting contributions to the success of this track was introducing the Santa Anita Handicap, the oldest continually run 100-grander. It will be renewed a month from today on Sunday, March the 5th. Since 1986, the Big Cap has been $1 million race. Past winners include Round Table, ACAC, Affirmed, Spectacular Bid, and John Henry, who all won this race early in their Horse of the Year campaigns. Last year, Kentucky Derby winners Alashiba and Ferdinand battled to the wire. At the finish, Ferdinand was just a half a length behind Alashiba, whose Big Cap victory contributed to his election as the 1988 Horse of the Year. The Santa Anita Handicap has made its mark in American racing, and we look forward to writing another page in the sport's history next month.
And somebody who'll be in the Big Cap, I'm sure, is Pat Valenzuela, winning jockey. Was it worth getting dirty for?
You bet, Dave. This is a very good horse. Charlie had him ready. He told me just to wait and make one big run, and the horse ran a very big race. You know, he handled the mud great, and he just ran a super race. He's a very good horse.
Let's watch his big move. This was the first time you had ridden this horse.
Yes, it was. He was running so easy, and when I went by the leaders, I couldn't believe I made the lead that quick. You know, and he just accelerated when I got to hitting him, too.
Now, during the stretch drive, this number 6 horse, Perceive Arrogance, is going to lose his bandages. We're going to see him. They look like banners flying. What could that do to a contest?
Well, if it were to wrap around the horse's other leg, it could have tripped the horse and made him fall. Or if it got hooked around my horse's leg, it could have tripped him very easy. But fortunately, nothing happened, and his horse ran a good race. Also, my horse is just the better horse of the two, and I think my horse is just one of the best horses in the country right now. Charlie had him ready.
And you're ready for the Big Cap?
Oh, you bet.
Could you be Horse of the Year with this one? You know, the last 2 years they've come out of this race.
Well, I sure hope so. I mean, he sure ran like the Horse of the Year today, and hopefully in the future.
Chris, back to you. Thanks very much.
All right, thank you, Dave. We're going to make it official now. Nasser Al Arab wins it for Charlie Whittingham. His third victory in the Strub Stakes. His first since 1975. Charlie had been second in photos 3 of the last 5 years. But he wins it today. Nasser Al-Arab pays 6:44 in 3:20. The time 2:02.1 on a muddy racetrack for the 1.25 miles. Receive Arrogance finishing second, you see there. Then it was the 2-horse Silver Circus finishing third. Speed Radic finishing fourth. Our Bud Longshot Dynaformer off the board today. Hope you enjoyed our coverage of the 1989 Strub Stakes, brought to you by Budweiser, Beechwood Age, that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. By the Thoroughbred Racing Association, assuring the highest racing standards. Santa Anita is a TRA member track. And by Caesar's Palace, Las Vegas. Relive the legend. Accommodations for Thoroughbred Sports and ESPN provided by the Beverly Garland Hotel and Business Center in North Hollywood. And you want to warm up? Well, stay tuned for college baseball on ESPN. It's the Sun Devils of Arizona State at Florida State against the Seminoles from Tallahassee coming up next. We start our 89 Racing Across America series with Nasser Al-Arab winning the Strub Stakes. So long, everyone, from